More of that coming
Absolutely.
up, 6:20.
Rolled up his sleeves and got on with the job. Well, to the security side of the protest now, with the former head of the National Counter-Terrorism Security Office, Chris Phillips. Chris, glitter does seem quite light-hearted, but this could have been much more serious, couldn't it?
Yeah, lucky it was only glitter, really. I've got a long memory myself. I was actually in Brighton in 1984 when the Conservative Party were attacked by bombers. And, of course, that resulted in people being killed and very nearly killed the Prime Minister as well. So we, you know, the Conservative Party, Labour Party, whoever it is, when they're having these conferences, there needs to be better security than we saw yesterday in Liverpool.
Absolutely, Chris, because as much as we can smile at the fact that, you know, it is glitter, etc., that was thrown on him.
Could have been a knife.
There's a split second in Starmer's face there where he's holding the protester like this, and you can see in his eyes that is a moment he thinks he might be stabbed. When you consider what happened to David Amess, Joe Cox, this is something that should be taken very seriously. I agree with people's right to protest. I do not believe that protesting in this way is peaceful because you're causing that person to think they're about to be stabbed.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, and you know, this is, as you say, it could well have been a knife, could have been something else. Listen, there are hundreds of single-issue groups out there that all want to get on the telly, that want their moment in the spotlight, so to speak. And we should be ready for this, and the security at these sort of events should be ready for this. It appeared that the security was pretty much purely done by a security company rather than the police, which is an interesting aspect to this. And of course, they were slow to react. You know, anything could have happened, to be quite frank.
Chris, welcome to the show. Great to have you on. I mean, I take your point. I take Nick's point. Took 12 seconds for anybody to come forward. You think that's private security? Whatever your political persuasion, this is a figurehead. This is a person who's in the limelight. I find it astonishing that either political party would not have protection or patrol. And everybody talks about, yes, the right to protest. Absolutely have a right to protest. But idiots like that just deserve to be locked up. Throwing glitter over somebody when we're trying to concentrate what's happening with what's happening in the Middle East. I'd throw the book at him. But I do think it raises the question that there needs to be better security. Don't you, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. And that security comes from accreditation. The trouble is, of course, you know, these political parties allow some very dubious people into their conferences anyway, some from the extremes and many people with, you know, pressure movements and things that they want to say. So you've got to be careful that you let the wrong people into your conferences. But also, of course, you need to prevent them getting weapons and things in. And my understanding is the security detail was really poor at the entrances. So all these things go to cause a lot of concern, particularly for someone who, you know, probably will be an ex-Prime Minister.
Absolutely, Chris. Thank you so much indeed, Chris Phillips.